After playing Batman Arkham City, it's easy to see why this game was nominated for Game of the Year. So after finishing the campaign for Batman Arkham City, I thought what better way than to do a quick post-mortem on my thoughts and feelings of the game. Now, I'm not going to give any spoilers with this review, but just to put the game in context, a year has passed since the events at Arkham Asylum. Quincy Sharp, who was once the warden of Arkham Asylum, is now the mayor of Gotham City. And now Arkham City has been sectioned off as this police state. The whole district is run by Hugo Strange, and the place is kept in check by Tiger Security. Now, you start the game as Bruce Wayne as a conscientious objector to Arkham City, and as a result, you're thrown into the pact with all the criminals that you helped put there in the first place. So Arkham City has basically become this playground for Gotham's worst criminals. And it's really cool because each section of Arkham City is taken over by a different villain. One of the first things you quickly notice is that Arkham City is a bigger game, both in scope of the story, but also in terms of just physical area. One of the biggest changes you notice right off the bat is that Batman actually gets to fly in this game, and he gets to spread his wings, so to speak. Now, you start out with all your previous weapons from Arkham Asylum at the beginning of Arkham City. But thankfully, the guys at Rocksteady managed to increase your arsenal in terms of new weapons and just new functionality with the weapons you already have. For instance, the line launcher allows you to zipline forward as well as perpendicular to the direction you're going while still being in midair. But what's really good about this grappling hook is that very early on in the game, you get an attachment that essentially allows you to just launch off the edge, allowing you to gain altitude as you're flying. And then you have the Riddler challenges, and I gotta tell you, I almost feel sorry for the person who had to design all these puzzles just because there's so many of them. They either come in the form of obstacles that you have to circumvent with either your weapons or your skill, or they come in the form of riddles which you have to solve by things in the environment around you. One of the things that I've always loved in the last game was the Riddler challenges, and they did not disappoint in Arkham City. It's clear that the developers at Rocksteady Studio had such a vision for this game and had such a respect for the Batman lore. Of course, you have Mark Hamill returning as the Joker in his final voice acting role of that character. You have Kevin Conroy returning as Batman himself from the original series. Now, if there was a criticism about this game, and really this is nitpicking at this point, it's that the first player campaign makes up a small portion of the overall content for you to find and collect within the game. I mean, if I had to divide it between first player storyline and additional content for you to complete, I'd say it's about a 25-75 split. Now, the other 75% represents Riddler challenges, other side missions, stuff to collect, and also Riddler challenges that are separate from the Arkham City world that the developers at Rocksteady provide for you. Now, in my opinion, I'd like to see a game where it's maybe 75% main storyline and 25% collectibles, but really, again, it's nitpicking at this point. But honestly, Arkham City is going to be put down in history as just one of those video games that you have to play. Now, I've heard some reviewers criticize that the game's pacing isn't as smooth as they would have liked, but quite honestly, I thought the storyline was very well paced. Another thing that they improved significantly upon is the combat. Some people will complain that the fighting in Batman Arkham City is nothing more than a button masher, but I disagree. Not only do you have to counter moves at specific instances, but there is a real strategy when you're fighting multiple enemies, especially enemies with weapons or shields, that you have to employ in order to take them down quickly and efficiently. They have special 2-button combos that allow you not only to disarm enemies, but also to take down multiple enemies before they manage to get the jump on you. But again, while in combat, you also have weapons that could help you aid in fighting. For instance, the grappling hook could be used to snatch an enemy and throw them across the room, while the batarangs from the previous game could be used while in combat to quickly throw enemies off their game. Now, I would personally love to see a third game in the franchise. I don't know how they'd approach that other than taking on Gotham City head on, but I'm hopeful there will be a conclusion to this trilogy. Other than that, there isn't really much to say other than I really enjoyed this game and I think you should check it out for yourselves. Thanks for watching. As always, feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel.